At 5 in the morning, Rachel Martin woke up before her alarm could ring. After working as a nurse for over a decade, your body naturally starts responding even before the alarm clock. The soft early summer light filtering through the curtains gently illuminated her bedside. From the next room, she could still hear Lily's steady breathing. Her 8-year-old daughter didn't need to be up until 7. There was plenty of time to prepare for the school bus in this peaceful morning hour. Rachel quietly made her way to the kitchen and switched on the coffee maker. While defrosting a blueberry bagel she'd bought from Panera Bread, she took out Lily's favorite strawberry jam from the refrigerator. "Good morning, Mom." Turning around, she saw her golden-haired daughter standing there, her braids slightly disheveled, rubbing her still sleepy eyes. "Good morning, Lily. You're up early, what's the matter?" "I wanted to draw." Saying this, Lily picked up her sketchbook from the dining table. Drawing had become her particular favorite lately. Just last week, she'd happily reported being praised in her school art class. While preparing breakfast, Rachel occasionally glanced at her daughter's profile as she drew intently. 2 years since the divorce. The breakfast scene had changed since that day. But not all changes had been for the worse. The last year of her marriage to David had been especially difficult. He had found success as an executive at an IT company, earning promotion after promotion. But in exchange, his time at home had drastically decreased. Even on holidays, he was consumed by conference calls, repeatedly canceling promises made to Lily. The divorce proceeded amicably, with mutual agreement. Custody arrangements were settled through discussion. Lily would spend weekdays with Rachel and 2 weekends a month with David. But 6 months ago, a small change began to appear in their peaceful routine. David had started living with a woman he'd met through social media, Carol Bennett. Carol was an influencer with 500,000 followers on Instagram, posting daily updates about beauty-related content. Her posts always featured Lily, tagged with "becoming the ideal stepmother." At first, Lily seemed to enjoy it. She got lots of pretty clothes, was taken to fancy restaurants, and had photos taken that received numerous likes on social media. But recently, her daughter's expression when returning from weekend visits had begun to look somehow darker. "Mom, breakfast is delicious today." Lily's words brought Rachel back from her thoughts. On her daughter's plate lay a halved bagel, generously spread with strawberry jam and garnished with fresh blueberries. "I'm glad. Make sure you eat plenty." Was it a mother's nursing intuition? Lately, her daughter seemed to have lost weight. Her appetite didn't seem as good as before. But when asked, she would just smile and say, "I'm fine." At 7:45, the school bus's horn announced its arrival. Lily hurriedly shouldered her backpack and headed for the door. "Bye-bye, Mom. Take care. Wait at the library after school, okay? I'll come pick you up." As Rachel waved goodbye to her smiling daughter, a vague anxiety spread through her chest. Monday morning, Rachel woke earlier than usual to the sound of small sobs from the next room. The clock showed 4:15. "Lily." Knocking and entering the room, she found her daughter sitting curled up on the bed. Her usually neat golden braids were disheveled on the pillow. "What's wrong?" "My tooth hurts." Lily pressed her left cheek, closing her eyes as if holding back tears. Rachel sat beside her daughter and rubbed her small back. Her body was trembling slightly. "How long has it been hurting?" Since last night. But I thought I could bear it." Perhaps due to her professional habits as a nurse, Rachel immediately placed her hand on her daughter's forehead. She had a slight fever too. Let's skip school today and go to the dentist. From her experience working at Johns Hopkins Veterans Hospital, Rachel knew a trustworthy dentist. Dr. Sarah Wong, an Asian American female dentist known especially for her expertise with children. Calling for an emergency appointment, fortunately, they were able to get the first slot of the morning. Lily, it's a bit early, but let's get ready. We'll take some pain medicine too. Her daughter nodded silently. Even her hair, which she usually braided herself, was left to her mother this morning. By the time the braiding was finished, the over-the-counter children's pain reliever seemed to have taken effect, as her expression had softened somewhat. At 7 a.m., Rachel parked at Dr. Wong's dental clinic. Though it was 30 minutes before opening time, the staff had already begun preparations. There were only 2 people in the waiting room. In the quiet clinic, morning news flowed from the wall-mounted TV. The weather forecast predicted a week of clear skies ahead. Lily Martin, called from reception, mother and daughter were led to the examination room. In the pristinely white space, Dr. Wong greeted them with a warm smile. Good morning, Lily. What seems to be the problem? Dr. Wong crouched down to the child's eye level while speaking gently. My tooth hurts. Can you show me where it hurts? Lily pointed to her left back tooth. Dr. Wong carefully explained while guiding her to sit in the examination chair. Rachel stood next to her daughter, holding her small hand. Let's take a look, shall we? As Dr. Wong adjusted the light and picked up her dental mirror, her expression gradually grew more serious. She seemed to check the same area repeatedly, as if something was concerning her. Mom, could you take a look at this? Rachel leaned in as directed to look at her daughter's oral cavity. Even with her experience as a nurse seeing various cases, she couldn't help but gasp. The surface of the back tooth was worn down abnormally. The surface reflected in the dental mirror showed deep scratches, as if someone had deliberately ground it down. This wear is very serious. Dr. Wong's voice had lost its usual cheerfulness. I never imagined. Quiet medical terms echoed in the examination room. Bruxism due to stress. And a severe case at that. May we take some x-rays? Mother and daughter nodded silently. As they moved to the x-ray room, various thoughts swirled in Rachel's mind. Why hadn't she noticed? The nighttime teeth grinding, this level of stress. After the x-rays were complete, they returned to the examination room. Dr. Wong's expression had become even more serious as she looked at the results. Lily, would you wait in the hallway for a bit? The nurse will help you pick out a toothbrush you like. After confirming her daughter had left the room, Dr. Wong turned to Rachel. Mrs. Martin, I'll be frank. This condition is abnormal. The monitor displayed Lily's dental x-rays. For an 8-year-old child to have this level of dental damage is not normal. The most common cause of bruxism is psychological stress. Especially in children, changes in environment or psychological pressure are the main factors. Dr. Wong continued, carefully choosing her words. Have there been any recent changes in Lily's life? At home or at school? Various scenes flashed through Rachel's mind. The post-divorce visitations. Carol's appearance. The social media posts. Her daughter's recent lack of energy. As she quietly closed the examination room door, Rachel began to speak. About her ex-husband's new relationship. Living with the potential new mother. The twice-monthly visits. And the sense of unease she'd been feeling lately. When she finished speaking, Dr. Wang let out a deep sigh. "There's one more thing that concerns me." The monitor screen changed. This time it showed images taken by the intraoral camera. These marks can't be explained by bruxism alone. There are signs of excessive force being applied. As if she's been desperately clenching something. Those words sent a chill down Rachel's spine. "Would it be alright if we spoke with Lily a bit more? Perhaps with you present." They called the nurse to bring Lily back to the examination room. She returned holding a cute, toy-like toothbrush. "Lily, can you tell me the truth?" Dr. Wang asked gently. "This tooth pain, it didn't really start just yesterday, did it?" Her daughter's expression clouded over. Her small body began to tremble slightly. "About 3 months ago." A faint voice echoed in the examination room. "But I couldn't say anything. At Dad's house." With those words, Lily's voice caught in her throat. Rachel embraced her daughter. Those small shoulders were trembling as if they might break at any moment. Dr. Wang quietly began taking notes. The atmosphere in the examination room grew heavy. In her mother's arms, Lily's tears wouldn't stop. And each of those tears carved a deep pain into Rachel's heart. The staff room at Bryant Woods Elementary School was filled with afternoon sunlight. Mrs. Thompson, a veteran teacher of 30 years, placed a thick file in front of Rachel. "I've been very concerned about Lily's recent behavior." Mrs. Thompson adjusted her glasses and began speaking quietly. "It became particularly noticeable 3 months ago. She started missing homework assignments. She who had been a perfect attendance candidate began taking sick days on Mondays." Opening the file revealed Lily's submissions and grade reports arranged chronologically. Indeed, starting 3 months ago, her once neat handwriting had begun to deteriorate. "And this is what concerned me most." Mrs. Thompson pulled out Lily's lunch records. "She used to always finish her meals, but recently she's barely touching them. This was especially noticeable on Mondays." The cafeteria staff's reports were filled with comments like, "decreased appetite," and "lacks energy." Mrs. Thompson checked her surroundings before lowering her voice to say, "I've been taking photographs." She took out her smartphone and showed the images. They secretly documented Lily's appearance on Mondays after returning from weekend visits. With each passing day, her daughter's expression grew darker. "Could you share these photos with me?" "Of course. I've already made backups." The next appointment was with the school counselor, Jennifer Morris, a child psychology specialist with over 20 years of experience. Through sessions with Lily, things have gradually become clearer. Morris opened her notebook with a serious expression. Regarding her relationship with Carol, Lily initially said it was fun. She got lots of new clothes, was taken to fancy restaurants. But there was something hollow about the way she said fun. Rachel nodded silently. Things began to change from the second day of visits. Carol was obsessed with taking photos for social media posts. To create perfect family scenes, Lily was made to repeat the same poses over and over. Morris turned her records page by page. She was kept up late helping with housework. She was constantly told, "If you're a good girl, this much is normal, right?" Her meals were strictly controlled, and she was forbidden from eating foods she liked because "you're too fat." Rachel's hands trembled. Even more serious was the psychological abuse. Morris's voice became even more cautious. She was repeatedly told things like, "Your mom is a failure," and "once I marry your dad, we'll get rid of you right away." Outside the window, the bell announcing the end of school was ringing. What particularly pained my heart was the story about Lily's precious drawings. Carol would tear up the pictures Lily had drawn with such care, saying they were terrible, and that drawings that can't be posted on social media are worthless. Morris let out a deep sigh. Even in such circumstances, Lily was desperately enduring. The fear that Dad would be sad, and that, if I'm not a good girl, I'll be abandoned, was binding her. The next evidence came from security camera footage. Scenes of Carol roughly grabbing Lily's arm and severely scolding her in the elevator hall. Scenes of Lily being made to stand alone in the lobby. Scenes of her being made to hold cleaning supplies in the middle of the night. And what proved decisive was Carol's secret social media account. In contrast to her perfect stepmother account, here she openly expressed her hatred for the child. If only this child wasn't here. Such a nuisance. Dreaming of the day I can have David's assets all to myself. The posts dated back exactly 3 months, perfectly matching when Lily's changes had begun. By the time they left Bryant Woods Elementary, the sun was beginning to set. Looking at the school building reflected in the car's rearview mirror, anger quietly burned within Rachel. That night, after Lily had fallen asleep, Rachel cried quietly in her daughter's room. Why hadn't she noticed? As a mother, shouldn't she have realized sooner? But now was not the time for regret. Sufficient evidence had been gathered. This was the beginning of the real battle. Her smartphone screen already showed 3 appointments. Tomorrow at 9 a.m., consultation with Baltimore Police. 2 p.m., case conference at Child Welfare. And at 4 p.m., meeting with Sarah Jenkins, a sharp family law specialist. Mom. Suddenly, a small voice came from Lily's bedroom. Perhaps she'd had a nightmare. It's okay, Mom's here. Rachel sat beside her daughter and held her small hand. I won't let anyone hurt you anymore. I promise. 35th floor of a high-rise apartment in the Merriweather district. Rachel took a deep breath and pressed the intercom. Behind her stood Margaret Williams, a social worker from the Baltimore Police Department, holding a thick file of documents. Rachel? What are you doing here at this hour? David, opening the door, showed a confused expression at his ex-wife's unexpected visit. Behind his black-rimmed glasses, tired eyes wavered. We need to talk. It's serious. Well, I'm actually working from home right now. Then that's even better. This won't take long. There was a strength in Rachel's voice that her former husband didn't recognize. Led into the living room, there was Carol. Perfect makeup and a white designer dress. She looked as if she'd stepped right out of a social media post. My, Rachel. What brings you here so suddenly? Rachel didn't even glance at Carol's friendly smile. Instead, she turned to David. Did you know our daughter had developed severe bruxism? A serious case caused by stress. David's expression clouded over. Carol casually picked up her smartphone. These are the X-rays. The images taken in the examination room were spread out on the coffee table. Compare them with normal 8-year-old teeth. You can see the abnormal wear, right? Dr. Wang says it's an unprecedented level of stress. But Lily never. Of course she couldn't tell you. Rachel's voice trembled quietly. Mrs. Thompson's report. Changes in her school behavior. Missing homework. Loss of appetite. It's all documented. One piece of evidence after another piled up. Counseling session records. Security camera footage from the apartment. And Rachel took out her tablet. Screenshots of Carol's secret account. The blood drained from Carol's face. You even. David's voice shook with anger. This is a misunderstanding. David, I have my side of. At that moment, Carol's smartphone rang. Notification sounds kept coming. Her main Instagram account was in the midst of a firestorm. Someone had exposed the existence of her secret account. Her 500,000 followers were beginning to raise their voices in criticism. No. This isn't right. Carol desperately operated her smartphone. But contract termination notices from sponsoring companies began arriving one after another. High-end cosmetics brands. Apparel manufacturers. Health food companies. Beauty clinics. David, please. I haven't done anything wrong. That's enough. David's voice was cold. Get out of this house. Right now. But I have debts. Those words froze the air in the room. David's expression darkened further. So that's why you needed my assets. And Lily was in the way. No. I just. But her excuses were cut short. From the hallway appeared police officers and social workers. Ms. Carol Bennett. Ms. Williams stepped forward. We're from Child Welfare. We've received several serious reports about you. Carol's glamorous composure crumbled in an instant. That evening, Carol left the apartment with a single suitcase. All her social media accounts were deleted, and her sponsorship contracts were uniformly terminated. They say she left Maryland State, seemingly fleeing from debt collectors. Later, an apology letter arrived from David. Rachel. I am truly sorry for causing Lily such distress. I have completely failed as a father, as a husband, and as a human being. I was so caught up in work that I lost sight of what was truly important. I didn't even have the judgment to see Carol for who she really was. But these are not excuses. My carelessness hurt Lily. I can't ask for forgiveness. I just want, if possible, another chance to start over as a father. David. After reading the letter, Rachel stared out the window for a long time. The early summer twilight in Maryland was unusually beautiful. Mom, is that letter from Dad? Lily quietly sat down beside her. The dark shadow that had been in her eyes was no longer there. Yes, it is. Was Dad crying? The ink is smudged in places. Rachel couldn't help but smile at her sharp observation. Yes, I think so. Dad was very worried about you. Can I see him? At that question, Rachel gently embraced her daughter. Of course. But this time, Mom will come along too. Outside the window, the sunset was gently coloring the city. A journey to find a new form of family was beginning here. Saturday morning, 3 months later. Maryland's autumn sunlight streamed through the kitchen window. Mom, can I have another pancake? Lily's voice had regained its former brightness. The sweet scent of maple syrup wafted over the table. Of course. But first, Rachel placed a small medicine packet in front of her daughter. Regular medication following her dental treatment. Lily obediently swallowed the medicine and moistened her throat with water. Good girl. Looking forward to today's checkup with Dr. Wong. Yes. She always praises me. Last week's examination showed marked improvement in her bruxism symptoms. The psychological counseling was also beginning to show effects, with the frequency of night crying decreasing. Oh, there's a message from Dad. Lily peered at the smartphone screen. Saturday afternoons had been set as regular father-daughter time. However, Rachel always accompanied them. David had changed significantly over these 3 months. He shifted from his previous work style, which was like a long-distance assignment, to one centered on working from home. He tried to avoid scheduling work on weekends as much as possible. Where would you like to go today? How about the open cafe at Inner Harbor? Came David's message. I want to go. I love their ice cream. Lily's eyes sparkled. The former compulsion to be a good girl was gradually fading. Well then, shall we get ready? Watching her daughter's retreating figure as she ran up the stairs, Rachel reflected on the events of 3 months ago. Carol Bennett had deleted all her social media accounts and moved to California. Her once flashy lifestyle had completely reversed, apparently now living like someone running from debt collectors. The path to her comeback as an influencer was completely closed. Mom, is this outfit okay? Turning to the voice, Rachel saw Lily wearing her new dress. It was one she'd chosen while shopping with David. Unlike the previous flashy clothes chosen for social media appeal, it was a cute design befitting an 8-year-old girl. It looks lovely on you. Shall I braid your hair? Yes. I love the braids you make, Mom. While brushing her daughter's hair, Rachel looked at their reflection in the mirror. The anxiety and tension that had been there before were no longer visible in Lily's expression. When they arrived at Inner Harbor, David had already secured a table. The waterfront was bustling with families on the holiday. Lily. Her daughter ran to her father's call. Watching this scene, Rachel suddenly realized that this was their new normal. There was no need to pretend to be a perfect family, no need to worry about social media likes. Just an authentic, life-sized family form. Rachel, I ordered coffee for you. The cup David offered carried her preferred aroma. He had remembered his ex-wife's taste. Hey, look. Lily opened her sketchbook. There were 3 smiling faces drawn there. No longer would anyone tear it up and throw it away. Dad, can I see you tomorrow too? Sorry, I have work tomorrow. But next Saturday, how about we go to the zoo? Yay! Her genuine joy echoed across the autumn harbor. Oh, that's right, David said as if remembering something. The school contacted me. Lily's drawing was selected for the city exhibition. Really? That's wonderful. Rachel hugged her daughter. Before, even such natural expressions of joy would have been hesitated over. In the harbor, tourist boats quietly passed by, and seagulls circled overhead. In the warm autumn sunshine, a new family story was slowly being woven. That night, Lily wrote in her diary for the first time in a while. Today was so much fun. I went to the harbor with Dad and Mom, ate ice cream, and talked lots. My teeth don't hurt anymore, and I don't have scary dreams anymore. Dad thinks about me more than work now. Mom always protects me. My drawings are going to an exhibition. They won't be torn up or thrown away anymore. I know what happiness is now, this is it. On the wall of the art room at Bryant Woods Elementary, Lily's new work is displayed. A drawing of 3 smiling faces in a family. There's no pretense or acting there. Just genuine happiness, as it naturally exists.